Hello and welcome to my LEGO channel. I'll be showing how to play a LEGO Ground Assault Star Wars Time Battle. So LEGO is great for building. I really enjoy building LEGO, but I think oftentimes people usually build it and then just keep it. I think there's a lot of fun things to do with LEGO after it can be built. An example is having battles with them, which I think is really interesting and it's a really fun thing to do. So I'll be showing only an example of how to play the battle. Of course, you can play any way you like, but I only show the way you can play and the possible ideas for them. Of course, you can use less sets, you can use different sets. I use a lot of sets in order to clearly show the battle movements, the strategies, to clearly demonstrate. But of course, you can use even with a few sets. There can be a very interesting LEGO battle. You may also use different types of sets. I had almost all Star Wars. So you may choose to change that and maybe add some other sets. Maybe you could add some DC sets, some Batman. Even I think I had a couple of non-Star Wars sets. So of course, the main thing in the battle is your creativity and how you want to play. It's always completely up to you about what you do. There's no kind of set LEGO battle plan. The way I showed is only an example, and you may choose to definitely follow a different plan because after all, you can use practically any types of Star Wars type sets and stage a battle with less, more different kinds of sets. It's really up to your creativity because Lego battles are really interesting, and I think it's really interesting to sometimes even play out battles from the films, which I think is also really interesting. So, without further ado, let's get to the video. So here we have a setup for a Lego battle consisting of almost all Star Wars sets. So this side would be the attacking side. First of all, this is seen by lots of heavy tanks, which form the main backbone of any attacking army. In addition to heavier tanks, there are more lighter tanks, such as this one and this one and this one. These are more mobile and can consist of a more mobile attack with the enemy. And there of course are lighter units and the smaller robots, which are even more mobile and faster paced. Crucial for any attacking force are troop transports, because otherwise the troops will be mowed down by enemy machine gun fire. That is why you have things such as this. This troop transport enables the troops to be safely inside, well, relatively safely inside, so they can be protected from machine gun fire. There are LEGO sets which can actually allow you to put troops inside for even better protection. There's also, for instance, sets which can open up. Of course, LEGO makes very different sets, but there are various LEGO Star Wars troop transport which you can find. Some LEGO sets will have included spring-loaded shooters. These can allow you to fire these kind of missiles into various targets. This definitely makes the battle a lot more interesting because you can actually see if a certain other object was hit or not, and it adds a lot more interest in the games. They are used in a very simple method. You just slide it in and then just press down. The range is around 2 to 4 meters. The accuracy is pretty good, but you'll have to probably angle it to achieve a higher range. You can actually break off these in most cases and attach them to other sets. So it makes it more interesting. This is a defending army. There will be various types of units here to try to protect the citadel or town which they're defending. Of course, this is kind of imaginary. Now, looking at the defense itself, we have turrets which have spring-loaded shooters with gates, defenses, troops hiding behind. We also have some kind of trench line systems with machine guns. You can also have various small and larger guns, as we can see here as well. So smaller and larger guns. There will also be some kind of tanks, walkers, possibly some more kind of other defense systems. And especially we can look at this guy. This orange machine of destruction, which is actually from Star Wars Episode 3. It's really powerful, and LEGO has included it with 4 statues, which makes it extremely powerful. Otherwise, there can also be some heavier tanks, which will kind of serve for backing fire and trying to shoot down the enemy. The use of small mobile such as this, units will also be very important in disabling larger enemy units. So the battle begins. The larger tanks begin their advance in order to clear way for the smaller ones. However, the tactic of each person could be different, but this is a possible start. Now the defending side will open fire. So with these cannons, you might need to slightly break it off to increase the angle so that you can increase the range. So let's have a shoot. So you can decide how severe a shot was by your own scale. But generally speaking, if it was a ricochet off the side like the first shot, it's not very serious. Had it hit the cabin directly, that wouldn't be quite serious. If it hit the troops inside, that would be a huge kind of damage to all the people inside. If it hit the leg, that might slow the mobility because then its legs work less. That will be especially important in the walkers with 2 or 4 legs, because if one leg is out of order, then the walker cannot walk properly. But with this walker, there are 8 legs, so even if 2 of the legs were broken, the walker could still somehow could be moving. With some other tanks, of course, it's up to you. You can decide that a larger cannon is more powerful. You could say that, for instance, that big cannon there could knock out a tank from one shot. But after all, it's up to your own imagination and creativity. And now let's just shoot this again. Although the 2 hits landed on the front, more armored part of the tank, this is still nonetheless damage. If we take a look at this tank, the sides of any armored vehicle tend to be more vulnerable. The back is definitely more vulnerable. Some tanks have certain weak spots, so in this case, this hole right here could be a weakness part. Or in this walker, the under part of the walker would be quite kind of easy to hit and very, very easy to damage. Furthermore, the neck of the walkers will also be quite vulnerable to enemy attacks. The hit on the leg can also cause the leg to be immobilized, and then after one leg being immobilized, the walker would not be able to walk properly. Certain tanks can have a mortar feature, like here. And you can use various types of Lego blocks and literally just throw them. And literally throw them at the enemy lines. The aim can be to fire over defense systems to penetrate and damage the infantry and technical things inside.
I swear that I will conquer all these lands and all these stupid people will fall under my immediate command.
A small military tip in terms of strategy. It is wise to have the troops and smaller tanks be positioned before the heavier tanks, because the heavier tanks act like shields for the more vulnerable targets. As we can see, the heavier tanks, despite very heavy artillery fire, are able to make through, because due to their very powerful armor, and they also have powerful guns, so essentially they're also damaging the artillery as well, and they're continuing to advance towards the enemy lines. Morale in the tanks remains high as the troopers brace for the main offensive. This part of the army is waiting because the other part is currently in the main offensive. The key is to get close enough for the troops to disembark and attack the enemy lines. But the strategy is always up to you, and as the commander of the army, you can choose any kind of tactic or strategy which you see fit. The battle is becoming more and more intense as it becomes more short range. A direct hit in the spider droid deals a critical damage. More and more shots ring out as the battle continues. The attack continues. This tank got some side damage and was forced to retreat. This train got a hit in the forward track and now is immobilized. This guy over here, was destroyed due to the artillery of the enemy cannons. He is fine, but this troop transport was able to further attack and break through, and now the true attack can begin. These guys over here are holding the line at the back and providing general artillery fire on the enemy positions. Now the attacking forces are storming the enemy lines. The troopers rush ahead as they're being shot down, attacking the enemy lines. Now the attacking forces have reached the enemy lines. The great storm begins. The attacking troopers march forward and attack using bridges. They're being shot down by the enemy defense team, but their defense is also suffering losses as the attack continues. The attack continues on the ground as well, as there's a full storm offensive on all the sides. The troops are also disembarking from the back in order to lead the ground assault. The attacking force was able to disembark the troopers for a ground assault of the main base. The heavy artillery of the defenses have been compromised. The heavy tanks have also been very, very heavily damaged, but the attackers have also sustained heavy losses. The attack will continue. The attackers have bypassed on the side and now are attacking the defenders. They are forced to retreat. Now the fight on the other flank. Some troopers will have these kind of stud shooters, which enable you to shoot them simply by pressing at the top. So they're attacking, they're firing, and they're continuing to press the attack. They are attacking. The defenders' hope lies with this Hailfire droid, which is packed with 4 mighty missiles capable of obliterating the attacking army. Oh no, I missed! Oh no, What have you done? You missed twice! Your next 2 rockets must be used to destroy something, be that clone turbo tank. This is how the battle looks so far. The attacking troops were able to disembark from the troop transport, and now they must engage the defending lines, which will not be an easy task. Morale is falling as the defending army is forced to retreat in some positions, but the main positions are still being held. However, on this flank, there is very, very heavy attacks, and lots of the defending artillery tanks have been knocked out. This is not an easy battle for both sides. All the hope for the defending army lies with its troops to be able to withstand the attack and by effective strategy to repel the attack. The attack on this flank continues as all the soldiers try to capture these fighters here, the crossfire. So they're And they're coming from here. They're trying to encircle the enemy in order to fire at its kind of unexposed side. So they're attacking. And now they're also being shot from here. They're forced to retreat. Fall back! Fall back! Retreat! 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 Misa's very confused. Get back! Get back over here! Soldiers! Fall! Go back! Go! Go! Run! Run! Fall back! Fall back! Retreat! The defenders are now surrounded and they are in full retreat. The attackers, meanwhile, are focusing on trying to drive out the defending positions. Back up, back up, back up. Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. And here as well. Come on, come on, come on. Take cover, cover, cover. The Hellfire droid has been damaged and has lost some mobility. Things are not going good for the defending side. Now the battle reaches its final stage. The AT-OT goes backwards in order to fire at those troopers over there. Now they are under crossfire and they are endangered. Then came out the clone turbo tank to attack the Hellfire droid. And this will be the true test of who won the game. In a critical moment, the Hellfire droid opens fire on the AT-OT. But little does he know of the disaster which awaits him from the clone turbo tank. The Hellfire droid has now nowhere left to run. It is being bombarded by various mortars. And now comes the great moment. It is a direct hit. The last piece of firing equipment of the defending army is knocked out. They have practically lost the battle. The defending army has lost a lot of its soldiers and all of its firing equipment. They surrender. They are being encircled from all sides, bombarded by mortars and by various shooting equipment. They have nothing to do but just surrender and lay down the arms. This has been a very, very heavy battle, with lots of shots, tons of missiles being fired, lots of firefighting, retreating and attacking. This is just an example of how to make a LEGO battle. This is only one way to have a LEGO Star Wars battle, or essentially this kind of battle. You may be as creative as you want and have your own strategies, your own Legos, your own sets, your own battle plans, your own defenses. You may even have two attacking sides or one defending side and ambush. It is totally up to you. But in this video, I provide an example of how I would play a LEGO battle and the principles behind them. I hope that this will make your future playing with LEGO more interesting, as it definitely is a very, very interesting experience. And I think with a couple of battles, you will definitely enjoy having various fights, battles, scenes, and maybe even scenarios from various LEGO films.
Misa thanks Yusa for watching.